Hi, greetings. I am Soumyan. I am speaking from Bangalore. Today I want to share with you some personal experiences related to speaking apprehension. When I was 12 years old and studying in secondary school, we had a literary association where we were all expected to volunteer and speak. However, I was not inclined to get into this kind of speaking situations, so I always refrained from volunteering. So when the teacher felt that some of us were just not getting involved in that, yet he decided to force us, and so he would often nominate us rather than ask us to volunteer. When this occurred, our response was to find means of escaping the situation and running away. We never considered encountering the situation and find out how to meet the situation in the best possible way. After a few such nominations, we kept vanishing from the scene, finding some escape route out of that. Our teacher called me and admonished me. Since I was one of the top ranking students, he just expected me to bring up the courage necessary to speak and come up and do at least one event. So that sort of motivated me to make one attempt. So I went to seek his advice. I volunteered my name and then went to seek his advice as to how I can go about it. This was a project related to appreciating some poem. He gave me outline. There was a nice, beautiful poem which was there as part of our curriculum that year. He suggested that I recite that, narrate the context, and then bring out some of the literary embellishments that were there in the poem. I had gone through sufficient amount of training for doing analysis of the poetry in my native language, of course, and all that I had to do was just apply that. That looks simple enough. However, I still was not very sure as to how I should go about it. I did everything. I recited I memorized the poem so that I could recite it. I also could narrate it. And then I went about doing this grammatical analysis of poetic embellishments. So in this process, I perhaps overreached and covered about 10 or 12 different aspects which I felt like describing, and that became a little too much. So when the event day came, I did walk towards the hall where we were supposed to meet with some purpose. However, in the last minute, I could find some of my colleagues escaping through one of the exits, which was unmanned at that time. And one of the guys called out and asked why should I join him. Well, since there was this apprehension about my preparation not being adequate and my inability to hold all those 10-12 points and narrate in a cogent manner, so I was continuing to have the discomfort, and in that moment of weakness, I just joined my colleagues and ran away. What went wrong here? Initially, when I was nominated, I didn't have the commitment. I had not volunteered. I was nominated. But beyond that, my teacher did not really, work on discovering what our problem was and things like that and trying to help out. It was as if, he just threw us into a pool. He just nominated us and said, face it. Maybe he could have done some hand holding. Second is, having been nominated, we could have perhaps gone about trying to comfort the situation and, and done some preparation towards that. That was not our motivation at all. We just were not even aiming at that. If you don't aim at preparation, if you don't even initiate preparation, what happens is as the time approaches, your apprehension keeps increasing exponentially, and there is no other alternative for you other than bucking and running away from the situation. So that's what we were regularly doing. In due course, this seemed to become a kind of practice. Okay, so we were no longer, hesitating about running away from an event, and we readily resorted to that as our response. So that preparation was really not enough. I had overreached and bitten more than what I could chew and caused a great amount of hardship for myself. So in this kind of situation, I was again at the edge of fear, and at that moment of weakness, when my friend gave a call saying that here's an opportunity, jump, the fear overcame my resolve to go and speak, and I just ran away. Thank you.